Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact No.62 for more information. Warning: this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Taking over the Upland Development United. Total meta domination.
G'day and welcome to UDU Podcast Year 2, number 62. Today it's either Tuesday the 9th or Wednesday the 10th of August. I'm Ben68, and of course joining me is my fiendish accomplice in all things Metaverse, Morcheese. How are we doing this morning, Morcheese?
Can't complain.
Who else have we got in the house today?
We have Mr. D-Tech.
He's
And
finally
then-
arrived in time. Well done.
Zoe's right underneath you. Options underneath me. Awesome is underneath D-Tech. We got Afinsky and Jacqueline making up the bottom.
Nice. If you are watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify and wondering how you can get involved live, we drop the link to the Zoom within the Metaverse Ventures Entertainment server each and every Tuesday at about 6:15 p.m. UTC, and you can join in with your very biased opinions like you're going to be hearing coming up, and you will also go in for the chance at the 1 million UpX wheels. Links are in the description. Did you see the little snippet I put out of Options Guru's double jackpot? That could be you. Pleasure and pain, isn't it? Something like that.
You got to do it like the commercial we made. That could be you.
Yes. Alrighty. Today we've got the Breaking Badly news segment, of course, updates from Upland Development United, which is the original and premier collaborative no development team within and extending from the Upland Metaverse. And we'll finish up with the Upland Mash and, of course, the 1 million UpX wheels. And yes, that was quite the double jackpot last week. For the two new segments this week, we've added the How to UDU. We'll be answering the question, what is the long-term vision and goals of UDU? And for How to Upland, we'll be discussing the topic, choosing your first properties. And we've also got a mini spotlight right near the end on outdoor decor. So, first up, in the Breaking Badly news segment, which I haven't got ready, so geez, how's things going? Like,
At least you're smiling about it. I told Ben he needs to smile more. Not too bad. This and that. I have nothing. Someone help me.
I love how he was scrambling before the podcast. And
Oh.
then first,
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
It wouldn't matter what time I get up. I get up at 3 a.m. to start this show at 4:30, and it wouldn't matter what time I got up, I'd still be scrambling.
We have some interesting stuff to do later, right? About the samurai thing.
Yeah, heaps of stuff.
All right. Wow. All right. Go ahead. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right, now you've see here, I've added a little bit at the bottom so I can actually read everything this week. I've tweaked it a little bit. Very flat all around. I don't think I'm even gonna bother diving into it too much. I don't think it's pretty flat in Upland. You know, what have we got? We got 4% swing, 3% here. Biggest swing is the Rio UpX price has gone from 8,000 UpX last week for the floor price down to just under 7,000. And same for the US dollars. Last week was $5.90 down to $4.50. Everything else is flat. Crypto's flat. I mean, the biggest jump up in the ones we keep an eye on is Engine, gone from 62 cents last week to 67 cents this week, 7% jump. And that's about it. 9% drop on wax. But, you know, if you look at the decimal places, it's not much in it. So, yeah, not much happening. 10% swings in crypto. You don't really raise your eyebrows until it gets over 10%. So, I don't know. Is it worth diving into any of this? It looks extremely flat to me.
Well, I just want to say Bronx is up 2% in UPX, so there's really nothing else to talk about.
It might be, but looking at the numbers from last week, it looks like I rounded those numbers off. I must have been in a hurry and I just rounded them off. So,
Oh, you bastard.
so maybe it was 7,400. I don't know. But, yeah. No, I'm loving that the crypto is staying pretty steady. Steady or down works for me because, like I keep saying, I'm dollar cost averaging every single day, so that works for me. And yeah, flat everywhere. I'll take it. Anybody else seen anything else in the wider markets that's worth touching on? Because I'm not seeing much here that's worth diving into.
Well, I mean, it's nice to see that Manhattan is kind of not moving at all because I thought it was gonna, with the new announcement. I would like to see it go down a little bit more,
Yeah.
but you can't beat $64.
Yeah, I was a bit suspicious on that price being exactly the same, but I went and double checked it and it appears to be so. So yeah, dead flat. $64, 100,000 UPX. Yeah. That's probably one of the, might be Dizzy or somebody with a whole buttload of properties holding the UPX down. I don't know. And we know that the San Francisco floor is being crushed by people, same things with hundreds upon hundreds of properties looking at cash out and that sort of thing. So yeah, not a lot happening in the old markets, which may be a good thing.
So how's that new city opening? Well, expansion.
Yes, well, let's dive into that straight away, eh? If I can click the right buttons. And dog's in the house. Hey, dog.
Hey, dog.
Not the wheels. That's jumping ahead. And this stupid thing. There we go. City expansion, calling Rio. Now, I'll touch on this a bit later for my one of the week. But yeah.
Oh,
so
snap. Wait, they actually made the llama body like a llama body.
it just looks creepy.
It does look creepy, but I like it.
Llamas don't have like toes and ankles like this.
They can evolve, Ben.
I don't know. It's freaking me out, actually.
You know
Moving.
what? It gives me humanoid kangaroo vibes.
It does look very kangaroo-ish, yes.
Yeah.
Just needs a tail. Yeah.
I love it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just weird.
And a pouch. Put like Ben in there. Ben in the pouch.
Yes, yes. I've heard it all before from my American cousins when they come to visit.
Hey, you call me a Yankee all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's better than Seppo.
What's a sep? Oh, don't even get in there. All right, Rio's huge property expansion is here.
Yes.
After selling out properties in just 2 hours, it's clear Uplanders can't get enough of Rio de Janeiro. We can't blame them. Carnival, architectural wonders, art, and all the Brazilian flavors make Rio one of the most unforgettable cities in Upland. So Ben brought this to my attention that they're going to be doing a property drop at 8 a.m. like what happened to Rio time.
Yeah, that's my one of the week. Back to screw you guys. We're gonna do it on our time. So I don't know. Who knows? I'm not even gonna bother getting up for this one. I'm getting too smashed in my in real life job. I can't go into work on 3 hours sleep. So 1 a.m. for me. No, I can't do it on a work night. So
Yeah, and like I really can't see, like it's going to be expansion, so it's not going to be vanilla. People are going to go exactly where they need to go. They're going to know everything that's out there. I don't really have the passion to kind of do that anymore. I bought a good amount of properties in Rio. I have what I want. I'm probably going to give this a miss as well, but only because there's other stuff that I want to save up for that I don't have, like if they surprisingly put cars out
yes.
or whatnot. So I'm going to kind of like sit back on this one and let hopefully the people in Brazil kind of make a nice little mark in there for themselves.
Absolutely. And it doesn't look like they're doing free travel this time around either. So,
Really?
yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's really not that much to travel.
Yeah, and you're right. Like there's always new stuff coming around the corner. We could get more cars announced anytime soon. And with the market so dead flat, it's really a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So it's a
Yeah.
tricky one. Anyone keen? Didn't get enough of Rio the first time around? D-Tech's got his hand on his face. What's going on, man?
It's just that I wasn't prepared, so I'm out of resources really.
Yep.
It's like, didn't you not have enough? It's like, well, I had enough. I need a break.
Yes. Well, I nearly bought what was that property I nearly bought through the week? Geez, 470,000 UPEX in Chicago. And then I took myself out of it.
I was trying to
Thankfully.
talk you into it.
Yeah.
You should never go to me for support on whether or not to buy a property.
Yeah, you're like, do it.
I'm like, it looks so good. Just buy it.
I don't know what to do with my big property in Rio too, like the one I bought for 540.
Mm.
And now I'm like, do I
Might
need a
as well-
big property with a factory in Rio?
No, but somebody will, and somebody will pay
Somebody will. Yep.
good money for that. And if
Where is he? That's
Yeah.
somebody.
your patience, like that freaking Guns N' Roses song.
All we need is, oh God. Yeah, jeez.
Just a
Moving on.
little patience.
Moving on. So we also had changes to the FSA system come in. So this was kind of
Yawn.
interesting. Yawn, you reckon?
I reckon.
Why?
Because it's not gonna do anything. People are gonna,
On the
create
same-
accounts and kind of adapt.
Yes. So we had a whole new FSA.
There's
neighborhood.
more chance for new players to get something like the actual new players, because
Yeah.
we've seen FSAs go and then disappear.
I
You
hate-
don't think those are people creating accounts?
Yeah, they
No,
are.
it's true, but there are some like there's one new player I was just helping today and yesterday, and he's going to Rio. I'm like, you actually have like 30-40 minutes to buy FSAs because they have to switch accounts to get like 3 at a time,
All right, that's true,
Instead
I
of just-
guess.
because they're like 1,000 for FSA. Like somebody with like 90,000 can just buy 90 of them
Yeah.
right away. So
Yeah, so the new restrictions are that players will only be able to mint up to 30 FSA properties for the lifetime of their account.
oh wow.
That's quite, you could do a lot of damage with 30 FSA properties if you pick the right neighborhood to do it in. But the biggest one, yeah, the mint a maximum 3 properties per day, that sucks. That number is, I really don't understand that. And we'll dive into that a bit later when we talk about, how to choose your first properties. But if you're a new player just joining the game and you can only buy 3 properties, well, I guess technically you can buy unminted. But if Rio happens again, if this expansion goes like the first release, there's not going to be any unminted to buy. So, and if you're a new player, you're not going to leave Rio and then go and join some other city. Where else have we got unminted? Kansas, LA. Is there still some in Las Vegas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty in Las Vegas.
There's a ton in Queens still.
Is there?
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's so surprising, Queens.
I mean,
Like-
you'd expect it in Staten Island, right?
100%.
Yeah. I don't like the FSA system at all. Ever since I first joined the game, I said this shouldn't be a free to play game. It should be, you got to pay $5 to play it or something. But I don't know. There's pros and cons I can see. And I guess it's good that they're willing to try out new things and see how it goes. We'll see. Anybody else have an opinion? FSA?
Get away with it. Do away with it.
The only thing I don't like is I had bought a ton when I got started, and you can only do the 2 at a time. You can only list 2 at a time to sell.
Yeah.
So I've got I think I have like 26 really nice properties in Staten Island. Sorry, but they're a bunch on the water. But I can't even get rid of them because it's so slow. And if I want to get decent money, I still have to wait it out. So it's a pain in the butt.
Should I say something that's conspiracy?
Go for it.
Sure.
I think you could swap them.
And I've actually want to say, like, I've just gotten rid of my FSAs last month. It took me a year, and I was because I was in Brooklyn when it came out, and I bought like 1,000
That's crazy.
UPX FSAs.
Yep.
So, and I was swapping with this other guy who was new that I helped, and we're swapping every week. And just now I'm out of FSAs. I'm so happy. it's,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. And
Well,
yeah,
that's-
we did like a trade. We trade there and then backwards.
Mm. Well, that's part of the reason I stopped using FSA agents too, because it was taking so long to work through all the properties. And then
Yep.
by the time you get to, like, what did you say, a year worth, by the time you've got to actually get to some of those properties, all the floor prices have changed, and you essentially feel like you're ripping the person off, even though it was a pre-organized deal sort of thing. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, I'd be happy to see FSA just be completely scrapped, but I get how and why they're using it. So we'll see. What else do we have? Oh, this was the big one that's kicked off a whole big debate all through the week, the Upland Economy Update. Now, a lot of heavily biased opinions on this one. I'm not going to dive into it too much myself. I know, Cheese, you're not real keen to get into it. Basically, there is a whole bunch of people that have put a heap of information together in the Upland, the debates channel in the Upland general server. It's well worth having a scroll through there. Like if you read some of the language in here, it's classic Upland where it's a bit lacking in details and ambiguous and that sort of thing. But there's people in the community who've picked apart every single word and gone through it thoroughly. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out that in the Upland debate. One of the things that's a bit surprising to me is that they're using the language like this is going to be the first vote sort of thing. Now, when we had the UCM broadcasters meeting, one of the questions Cheese asked for me, because I was getting kids ready for school, was, can we do a practice run? But it doesn't appear that this is going to be an official kind of vote or anything like that. It's more of what was the terminology they used, like judging the market sentiment or something. So,
Well, they said like a temperature thing, but then
yeah, that was it.
One of the CMs kind of corrected it, saying that it is going to be a vote. So I don't know what it is or what they decided it's going to be, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of information here, but like I said, get on over to the Upland debate channel and check that out. First ever Upland community governance proposal and voting system. Well, if this is just the system, that's great. But if this is going to be the first ever vote, I mean, surely we'd have a practice run where everybody gets used to the process, they iron out any bugs and that sort of thing. Like if this is going to be a fixed vote thing, it's pretty important. It's not something that you want to have where, we have this all the time where Upland will put something out and there'll be some miscommunication or something will go wrong, and then there's a whole bunch of butthurt in the community. I'd hate for that to happen with something as important as this. So we shall see. Anybody else got a biased opinion they want to jump in with? No. It's one of those things. Don't
Peace.
talk. Yep.
Well,
Peace.
I haven't
This
read-
is cryptic.
I haven't read the update, so I can't say whether I'm for it or not. Yeah, I'd need to read it.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to dive into it too much here, because this is classic kind of gobbledygook speak almost. But yeah, the people that have picked it apart in the debate channel are really good. So there you go. Now one of the main things that came out of this was the voting system. So you're going to have a a permanent home address that you've nominated to be able to vote. That's also kicked off a bit of debate, and through the week, it's been brought up that how do I word it? Essentially, this is going to throw a spanner in the works for organizations like UDU and like Midtown Terrace as a node project. Basically, it's been insinuated that, you're going to lose all your control and you think you have the power, but you really don't. I just laughed at that. If people want to go out of their way to nominate their residents within Midtown Terrace so that they can do a spite vote to vote against the node that's there, that's hilarious. First of all, you're going to boost our neighborhood stats by putting your neighborhood residents in Midtown Terrace. And second of all, you're just going to make a giant cock of yourself in the community. So go for your life. I don't know. You worried about that, Cheese? You worried about people conspiring against you to take over the Bronx Dale?
I don't care anymore. People can go back.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being hated on for working hard for a whole freaking year and putting myself out there and just kind of like being the bad person for doing it. Like, I just don't. I'm just gonna do my thing. We're gonna do our thing.
Yep.
I've helped a lot of. Thank you, Roro. I've helped a lot of people in the community. I feel like, you know, I do nothing but good stuff, and I'm always there to listen and have a friendly debate or conversation. But if you're just gonna come at me, I'm not gonna have anything to do with you. And if that's your MO, then whatever. Do you do you?
Yeah.
Do you.
Yeah, I'm not going to put any mental effort into trying to deal with that. And like, if people are going to go out of their way to dive into all the negativity that they possibly can, well, that's going to come back on you. So go for your life. So yeah, and Midtown Terrace, I can't even imagine a situation where it's going to be something critical that we're going to vote on. Like, what are we going to vote on? What structure we're going to put in? Well, Midtown Terrace is already almost fully built out. So colors, what racetracks? I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, if people really, really wanted to go out of their way to screw with things on purpose, yeah, I guess there's probably a play there. But what's the end goal? What are you actually going to achieve? To devalue your own properties? That's kind of hilarious. So we shall see how that all plays out. But yeah, if you want to check out all that economy update, yeah, get yourself on over to the Upland debate channel and have a good read through there. Because like I said, there's people who've put a hell of a lot of time and effort into debating what it's all about. And, you know, there are a few things out on the YouTube channels, but there's some stuff out there that's heavily FUD based, and then there's stuff that's in the extreme opposite where it's just, oh, this is all great puppies and rainbows. Of course, like any of these things, the truth probably lies somewhere in between. So
make your own choices, kind of
Yeah.
like read into it,
Absolutely.
read everything you can and vote on what you feel is the right thing.
yes. All right, moving on into some positive stuff. MVE news and updates. What's been happening in the MVE this week, Cheese?
Well, yeah, all sorts of stuff, Ben.
I throw you the same bone every week.
So yeah, we have our contests and we have the new Up and Smoke NFT is out.
Yep.
You missed your freaking chance, but you know, like we had a great wine and cheese guest on this past Friday. I put they were doing a Twitch. I put that in the announcements before. If you can, please catch this episode and look into them because they are I'm a gamer, I'm a big gamer. So anything that is NFT and games where I can actually play the game, not just click a button, is exciting. And there's actual quests and you walk around and it's an open world. It's an MMO. So I got squirreled by Finsky.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely check that out. So that was Marius from Danu Games and
Yeah.
his game Avalon. Yeah, it's a blockchain and NFT based fantasy. What did I call it? A Mamorg.
I'm a Mupferg.
Yeah, it's a Mamorg game. Yeah. So I'm not much of I'm just a Twitch, mobile gamer, that sort of thing. Twitch, high speed Twitch shooter kind of mobile gamer. I don't really get into computer games on my laptop. But even this got me sitting up on the edge of my seat. Some of the stuff he's got going on is just mind blowing.
And I am just about all caught up with my NFTs. So they're going to be coming out like wildfire. The next one that is coming out after Effin is TD and Sani.
And that's already pretty much done, eh?
Yeah, and then I'm going to be working on the Danu Games Avalon thing. So make sure you get in there and do the challenge, which is basically I'm gonna give this one away, Ben, because I want everybody. Yeah, I want everybody in there. All you have to do is go into their Discord via our YouTube, and tell them what kind of games you like to play, and just tag me. That's it. You can always see by Moon Unit and Cassatras. They're always on top of the game. And Zoe, did you get in there yet or not yet?
No, I'm not in there yet. But I will be.
Okay.
I will be. I feel because I don't have a PC that's gamer worthy, I feel like I'm just sort of taking up space in these servers.
Yeah.
So I feel sort of less inclined, like with the Lux one. I didn't enter their server because I couldn't participate in the game and that sort of thing. So I didn't want to inflate numbers. Not only that, but I am more than happy to go through and buy your NFTs when I've got the extra funds. So I don't mind, regardless whether I pick it up for free or I pick it up and pay for it. Like, I'm just happy that I'm building up my cheesy NFTs. I got a good little collection going.
Aww, it's making me smile.
Yes, absolutely. So check that out. And also we've got the No directory is still up and running in the MVE server, and I need to get through and update some more entries there because a whole bunch have come to light, and I need to patch those over. There's not much point us having that there if I'm not going to update it, so that's on my to-do list. Samurai Aquatics and Decor updates, we won't get into that too much because we're going to do a mini spotlight on that a bit later, but we have inaugurated the factory in Midtown Terrace and started a backup factory in San Francisco as well. Once that factory's done, I think I will possibly even put a small backup factory in Fresno just so that we have all of our options covered. And I'm still getting people reaching out saying, hey, my factory's inaugurated. Do you want to rent it out? I'm like, thanks, but no thanks.
I mean, not to be mean though. Not to be mean. It's nice to be thought of, and thank you for keeping us thank you for reaching out to us for that. Yep. But we can't do it in the beta. We won't be able to do it in the beta. We don't know how it's going to be, so we don't know if we're going to actually need it. But if we do need it, just like in a little FYI, we are going to go through our UDU members first, whether or not they have one. And if we do need extra, it is good to have people there that did think of us.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Look at that. You get some cheese with your wine. Perfect.
That's how we do it.
That's how we roll. Yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to keep all our options open because we don't know how it's all going to play out. Like I keep getting people asking me, yeah, I know, but can you just give me a hint? When is it going to open? I'm like, I got no idea, mate. I freaking no idea whatsoever.
Even if we knew when it was going to open, it's still going to be in beta, and we're not going to be able to get any help. Like even D-Tech built something in Chicago. Like I don't think he's going to even be able to do it during beta. So we would have to do it whenever like beta's over, and we wouldn't even know when that is.
Yes,
Sort of thing.
absolutely. Yeah, we got no information, and that's why I'm building backup factories, because we don't know how that's going to play out as well. Are we? Well, we're pretty certain we're going to be restricted to one factory from the onset, but you know, can I have one factory? Can Cheese have one? Can Detect, because they're all team members? We just got no idea at this stage, so we shall see how that plays out. Now, we did onboard the UDU members to the Samurai Aquatics Decor server, as we said we were going to do. So that happened over the weekend. And as part of this week's show, we'll be opening that up to the wider public as well. So check out the links in the description. There will be an invite there to jump on over to the Samurai Aquatics Discord server. But yeah, we'll touch on that a bit later. Wine of the week. Now, we've already kind of delved into this a bit too. Yeah, the adjusted release time to match the city releases. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Back to 1 a.m. for me, so I'm going to snooze through. Anybody else have a wine?
I don't know. I'm pretty good. I usually do, but I'm actually pretty good.
Any wines in chat? We can do it anonymously. No. Everybody's
Come on,
loving
guys.
life.
Complain. Let it out. Let the stress out.
No. All right.
Oh. No.
Deleting accounts.
What does this
Now
mean?
I did catch this on the Icon podcast. Scooby and Cam were going into, apparently now there's an option within the UI where you can delete your account. I haven't looked at it myself. I hope this is not a case where, where if you put a building up and you want to go in there and adjust the spark rate, there's that big massive button, destroy property, that we've been asking to have removed or made a lot smaller for ages, that nothing's been done. I hope that doesn't happen with this delete your account thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, what if a big player decides to delete their account? Finn said all of their properties go invisible after they press deletion. Why would they do that? I got no idea.
An easy way to get the dead properties back into the game.
Well, I don't think they will. They'll just be dead, and that's it, because it's on the blockchain. You can't unblockchain the blockchain. So all
But
you're
if
doing
you
is
delete
hiding
it, it's like burning. Maybe it's like you're burning your whole freaking account.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's a few rage quitters in the community. I can see them having a bad night one night and going, screw this, and then waking up and thinking, what the hell have I done?
Oh my god.
There's going to be deleter's remorse for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a very strange one. Maybe they're calling people's bluff, like the people have said, I want to delete my account. And they said, okay, here you go. All their bluff.
First metaverse problems.
Yeah, that's right. Did you ever do anything with that website?
No, I'm busy. I do have like the merchandise up and a Twitter for it, but nothing yet.
All right, win of the week. Zoe, you said you had a win. What's going down?
Yeah, I won a property in Detroit, which will wind up being my primary residence when they bring that in. But yeah, for a contest that I didn't even know I had entered. It was a referral contest. So I got the notification 9 days after I was tagged.
Cool.
So that was my win of the week. That was, a nice little surprise.
That's cool. I like that.
Very good. Anybody else had a win? Again, you can be anonymous in chat.
I had mine. I believe it was real estate, Nate. I was telling you before we pressed record that he wanted an Amish hat on the cam picture that I made because he thought like the beard really suited Cam is Amish, and I did it for him, and he didn't expect me to do it. He told me, "Oh, that was really cool of you. Like, I have all these ideas. I didn't expect you to do it for me." So he went and found one of my properties in Manhattan that I had for sale, and he purchased it for like a couple $100,000 UPX, which was great.
Nice. And Finsky said in chat, his win is buying up all the undermints all week. Is that in Rio or is that just all over the place, Finn?
All over.
All over. Nice. I guess my win was not buying that property in Chicago, so I didn't blow near 500K. So that was my little win.
What's that face for, D-Tech?
Because I bought it one for 500.
But that was the week before, so you're all good. All right, other UDU stuff. Not much going on in Midtown Terrace. Like I said, it's pretty flat there while almost sparks on to building factories and whatnot. We were 65.3% last week. Tiny bump again, just 65.6% this week. Other than that, not much happening in Midtown Terrace. What's going on in Bronx-style cheese? Anything?
3 days away from building an apartment for Nub, and then I'm going to put it over into Finn. You have to show me how to do that percentage thing so I don't go and bother Steve.
Ah, yes, that's quite easy to do. Yep, I'll run you through that. Just throw a shoe at me to remind me. Now, Finsky did reach out to some of the UDU, or one of the UDU node managers to see what's going on there, and there'll be some more news to come from that. Other than that, we're just cruising along. All right, for this week's How to UDU segment, I think it was Shaktalan raised the topic of what is the long-term vision and goals of UDU. Does anybody, we've got several UDU members on here. Does anybody want to chime in for that before we kick off? What do you think?
Sacrifice as much people as we can.
Did
and
you
take
say
their soul.
sacrifice?
Sacrifice. I love that.
Oh, yeah, long-term vision and goals of UDU. What do you think? Maybe some of our newer people. Any idea? What do you think we're all about? We did touch on this a little bit last week. Anything stand out?
From my understanding, it's about connections and supporting each other whilst developing, whether it's UDU specific or personal. It doesn't matter. That support network is there. Yeah, it's like a kooky family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The kookier the better. Yes. Now we did. Cheese. Do you remember when we had a UDU team meeting? Gosh, it would have been well over a year ago. It wasn't anything that we published, but it was something where we got as many people, many team members as possible in way back, and we just had a big brainstorming, brain farting session about, okay, we got all these projects on the go. We're doing all this stuff. What are we actually doing here, and why are we doing it? So from that meeting that we had, then we came up with this whole ethos thing. Now, this is all outlined at udu.world if you wanted to jump on over and check it out for yourself. But it'll be interesting to see. I haven't actually looked through this in a very long time. So it'll be interesting to see how we're going and if we're still on track with the same sort of vision. So for our team ethos, the first thing we've got is vision. So the vision that we decided on was to inspire and support deeper engagement of both individuals and other development collaboratives within and extending from the Upland Metaverse. So I don't know. Does that still ring true?
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a simplified version of what I just said.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it goes back to that thing where if you're in the UDU, we encourage you to be in other projects. We encourage you to make your own projects. We're fully on board with supporting that. And it doesn't have to be just within Upland. We've done stuff with other NFT projects. We do a lot of support with NFT projects and whatnot through the MVE server, which is kind of the public branch of UDU. So I don't know. I think we're on track there. Our mission is to support our brilliant, forward-thinking and close-knit team of committed property and business developers within the Upland Metaverse, striving to take our engagement to the next level by sharing and supporting new ideas and opportunities that will benefit not only ourselves, but the entire Upland Metaverse community and beyond. So, I mean, there's a couple of fancy words there. There will be aspects of chest beating that still bleed through in this, I would imagine. I don't know. What's your take on that, Cheese?
I mean, I wouldn't say brilliant.
I would.
To support our forward thinking and close knit team of committed property and business developments. Yeah. Striving to take our engagement to the next level by sharing and supporting new ideas and opportunities that will benefit not only ourselves, but the entire Upland Metaverse community and beyond. I mean, it's like we're very transparent, right? So whatever we do, whatever we talk about, all our meetings, all our Samurai Aquatics, our wine and cheeses, we do that not like we don't get paid for that. That's what are you doing?
I'm showing that I'm transparent.
Oh,
Copying DTech. Yes.
We don't do that for any monetary thing. We're not getting paid in any way whatsoever. We're doing this to help the community. We're doing this to kind of show them this is how we're doing it. You don't have to do it the same exact way, but this is kind of just like an outline, you know? All of our Samurai Aquatics things, we put everything out there, even our like the freaking schema names and whatnot, our Excel sheet, all of our brain farting, like everything is out there for everybody to see. So it's not a secret society. It's there for you to look at and say, hey, this is cool. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it in my own style, sort of thing.
Absolutely. I think this shows a classic example of this. Like, this show is open to the public. I've tried to get some of our UDU members to be able to spruik their stuff. Like, there's opportunities to engage in this podcast to pimp your ride. We do have sponsors every now and then. And like, the fee that we're charging our sponsors is minuscule. It's basically the bare minimum that's worth doing transfers on. So, you know, it's not about price gouging, which we see that a little bit with some of the other projects that are looking to onboard and support people. I mean, I've looked at the prices and I've just thought, wow, okay. There is a bit of time being put in there, but just seems like price gouging to me. But you do you, and we do us, and that sort of stuff. All right, values, integrity. Now, this was always a touchy one, given our colourful history. So some of these are very interesting. So the first one, integrity, perspective, patience, and understanding, although difficult at times, is critical for us to maintain in order to achieve our vision. We remain united and committed to respecting each other and the extended communities we engage with. This is probably one of the biggest things that we look for when you're in your vetting period and we're going through your community post history. We have seen several people not pass vetting because they don't kind of match this integrity level. Now, there is a caveat there where it's not the be all and end all. Like, if I was subjected to the integrity vetting rules, I would not pass because of my very colorful community history. So
not really, because I'm going to stop you there. There have been people that, like, you know, did have kind of like a shoddy past, but not on purpose, but because they didn't know any better. Right. Yep. And we took the time to talk to them and converse with them, and we see that they're good people, so we definitely did give them a chance.
Yeah, and we had this kick off in the background this week. I was doing some back and forth with somebody that I have had a more than 2 year experience with in Upland, and we were kind of working through some drama. And the important thing is, if you just be patient and chill out and just talk things through, there's pretty much nothing that can't be worked out. So that's one of the biggest lessons that we've learned. Accountability, we understand and appreciate that we are all representatives of something much larger than ourselves and therefore accept responsibility as individuals for our words, actions, and products. Should challenges arise, we're all committed to seeking productive solutions expeditiously and professionally. So, I mean, that's pretty much a similar sort of thing. Anybody want
If
to?
we fuck up, we're able to come out and say we messed up.
And we have had this before, like people ranting and raving, and other people within the community, because they've got the UDU tag on their profile, they think, oh well, you're just bloody typical UDU member or whatever. Where it's not the case at all. That's just a cop out. It's easy to throw that out there, but it is definitely a thing. So, I don't know. Anybody else want to chime in on that? I think we hold each other to a pretty high standard. You know, a lot of stuff gets squashed before it ever gets out of control because, you know, like we talked about last week with what are you supposed to do? You're in UDU now. What? It's just sit down on the couch and chill out and watch it all play out. So it's pretty hard to get enraged when you're sitting on the couch eating popcorn.
I started playing in January.
Yep.
And in my experience within the general Upland community, the UDU has been burned or scorned more often than not. Like the UDU's not running around backstabbing everybody and ripping off ideas and, you know, that sort of thing. So, yeah. I mean, I don't understand this whole cult reference, but if I was to label you any sort of cult, it would be the transparency cult.
Nice. Well, no, to be fair, some of it is fully justified. Like I said, we have had a colourful past. All our history's there. Like if you go on the website and click on info, or if you look at some of the earlier team meetings, yeah, it's no secret the journey we've been through. We're not the same team we were 6 months ago, let alone a year ago. So, you know.
And I'm going to say something. Even I hated the UDU when I first came in for the first few months because they were very bro-centric.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was actually muted a lot of the times during meetings, even before they started. So I couldn't talk to people. But things get better, things evolve.
Yep.
You know, and I just want to point out what the UDU is can do for you is what you put into it. And I want to give Zoe an awesome shout out. Like she actually scheduled time with me to help her with her NFTs. Like she has this project in mind and she wants to put it out. And we spent like, you know, over an hour going over the basics of NFTs and doing a like test runs and looking through videos and setting up an anchor and all that. And like I'm going to spend more hours on that with her as well. Like basically she reached out to me, she says, I want to do this, can you help me? And of course that's what the UDU is. And I've helped people not in the UDU in that respect, and I'll continue to do so. Like I say all the time, my DMs are open.
Yeah, for sure. And we touched on this last week as well. Like we might not know the specific answer that you're looking for or whatever, but we definitely know somebody who does. So happy to help out in any way. And that's a good segue over to the next point is teamwork. As a collaborative, our success depends on us all working together towards common goals within a mutually supportive and inclusive environment. An environment that encourages and appreciates active, collaborative, and innovative engagement above all other aspects of membership. Yeah, we have been very severe about the kind of active engagement in the past. We've chilled out on that. What's that been the last 3-4 months, something like that? Because it's one of those things where we've encouraged people to go and have other projects and get deeply involved in other projects. Well, we can't then turn around and say, hang on a minute, what about us, when it's something we've actively encouraged. So yeah, we've just kind of chilled out a lot with that. But I think all of that still rings very true. We have our common goals, but they're long-term goals. So with long-term goals requires a lot of patience. Yep. Moving on, communication. We encourage transparency and honesty during active communications between ourselves and the community. Yeah, like you said, Cheese. What does Zoe say? The transparency cult. It can be like a bit oversharey at times, but yeah, absolutely. There's no other kind of collaborative or project or whatever they want to call it that comes anywhere close. We strive to continue to improve on this through providing, seeking, and reflecting on constructive feedback. We provide prospective members with clear expectations and obligations up front and engage in extensive pre-membership discussions and vetting in order to maintain the integrity of our team. I guess this is probably something, although every time I've been approached about a new member, I send them all the stuff. Like, we've got heaps of links, we've got a website, we've got all the stuff. I send them all the information. It's kind of on you to actually check that out. So, yeah.
I send them this long list of expectations, and I'm like, it's not scary, I promise.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the biggest changes that has benefited the most is when Finsky just persisted in my ear about, we got to just stop letting any old person into the team, because that was just creating, an endless source of drama. So big props to Finn for that again. Respect. We promote, encourage, and support equal opportunities for all members and the wider community. I mean, that's pretty much a given. And like you said, Cheese, in the very early days of the UDU, it was a bromance, hype typhoon, chest thumping bloody thing. And, as those things tend to do, that all fizzled and died, because when it comes down to actually doing stuff, suddenly you look around and you're standing all alone. So, and I've given Cheese props and flowers as many times as I can, because she come along and just, talk about engagement. Well, is there anybody that's more engaged than the Cheese? Show me.
Props in video games. I don't like flowers.
Okay.
Or chocolate. Chocolate. I like chocolate.
All right. Now, these next two is going to be a bit interesting, because these are kind of set up with systems we had way, way back in the past. So, education. So this was kind of alluding to, back in the day, we had the UDU, which was the Upland Development United Academy, which was its own separate server where our new members would kind of onboard. And it was one of those things where it was kind of set up almost like a university. We had several members that had big ideas about running courses, this, that, and the other thing. So we set up all the structure for it. We put everything in place. We teamed up, kind of established people with new people and said, here's your mentor-mentee situation. Away you go. And this person's going to get this course organized and this, that, and the other thing. But nobody did a damn thing, and it all just fizzled and died.
I was a mentor.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
a mentor. It was a great thing to do and evolve. I think we did evolve, like, where we never really had any limits for new players to come into the UDU.
Yep.
I think what we wanted to do was kind of dedicate more time to them with the UDUA, but then activity, it comes and goes. People who were ambassadors or mentors would have their own stuff to deal with, and it got to the point where nobody really had time, so we pretty much just merged the two together. And I think it's better now, because they have access to all the information in the UDU. They're actually with the UDU members. It's not a separate thing anymore. And if they have questions, they ask it, and like everybody who's there will have a chance to kind of jump in and help them out.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's essentially become our probationary period once you're in the server, that sort of thing. So I think it's still there. Like, that whole system's there. It's just not official. Like, what did we have? We had chancellors and vice chancellors and all sorts of stuff. It was all a bit wanky. You can go back and
title.
people wanted titles, and because they had all these big ideas, but then did absolutely nothing to see it through. So
Did that inspire the Upland Guide and how they run it with the mentors for new players?
Possibly, and we were in turn inspired by, I think is it the Turbo I actually think it. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but because it's quite a while ago now, I think it was the Turbo who set up a. He basically had the Upland Guide before it was the Upland Guide, and I think it might have been bought out by YK 2012 or something like that, because he'd put a lot of work in on a kind of website with a whole bunch of information. So yeah, it was the Turbo was kind of there, and the Turbo is a UDU member. And as part of the UDUA, we were going to utilize what he'd set up as part of the education process, but it kind of never eventuated, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not fully clear on the specifics at all, but it is kind of all tied up together. But it was definitely one of those things where in the early days, everybody in the community, because the community is so open and supportive, everybody was looking to set something up to support new players.
Yeah.
So yeah. And the last one, this is another one too. Civic responsibility. We promote, encourage, and support active participation in the metaverse and real-world communities by focusing on developing the common good for all through constructive, committed, informed, and collaborative engagements. This is another thing that was set up. The civic responsibility was a kind of pet project of a few UDU members, and basically we've seen nothing kind of come out of that at all. I guess the way that we set up this show and the way that we do a lot of giveaways and that sort of thing, that's kind of taken over what this was kind of setting out to achieve. We did have, back in the day, we ran the first community nodes. Like, we had our own private UDU nodes that we ran for, but then we opened up, how many was there, Cheese? There was one in Staten Island, and I think there was two in Chicago.
We had something in Staten Island. What are we talking about?
Grant City or something. The community nodes. Remember back in the day we had community nodes?
Oh my God.
And
no.
we had a multilingual branch of the UDU.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that with Sunny and Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas 78 or 87. Yep. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that's, again, it was just one of those things where we can only spin so many plates at once ourselves. We needed people a lot of the people that came up with these ideas, we needed them to see that through to fruition, but it just never eventuated. So that's that. So I don't know. I guess a very broad overview, if we go back to the original question, what is the long-term vision and goals of UDU? It's collaboration, I guess, however broad you want to make that. Collaboration for very specific goals, very broad goals. Ongoing communication and collaboration. And trying to be positive, even though we do give ourselves little avenues for whining and whatnot. So,
I'm known to be a little passionate at times. I have no regrets. People like Greasy, they need to be called out.
Yes. Yes. All right, we'll move on from that. The code word for this week is, the code phrase is outdoor decor coming soon. You have to do it like that, soon. Now, if you're only in text, you need to type it like that. So once again, code phrase for the 1 million UpX wheels. Outdoor decor is coming soon. You can interpret that however you want for the text version. Okay, moving on. How to Upland. Now, I think this was another Shackleton proposal. Choosing your first properties. Now, this is a very good one to dive in, which is kind of a little bit complicated nowadays because of the FSA system and the changes to the FSA system. Anybody want to jump in? If you are a new player starting in now, your very first properties, you just found the link and you've come on over and you want to buy your first properties, what would you advise? Anybody want to jump in?
Sorry,
I would say start in a tier 1 city like Chicago.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good one. Thank you. Awesome. Now, it's very rare that that's an opportunity that's still available. Normally, the tier 1s sell out lickety split. What's your thinking there? Like a tier 1 city, what's the mint floor in Chicago now? It's probably in the what 5-6K range. I've got no idea actually. Maybe I should look that up.
Yeah, I don't know about minting, but I think like cheapest property on the secondary market's around, I don't know, probably 12,000 maybe.
Yep.
But just like treasure hunting. So I don't know if I could do it all over again. I'd just put in $10 and get something in a good city, and yeah, just start doing those free standard treasure hunts.
Absolutely. And there is also, like Finsky said, he's been going around gobbling up all the undermints. So you might think that cheap FSA is the best deal, but if you can get a whole bunch of undermints, you're actually going to be far better off as far as your return on investment goes. Shackleton has said in chat, my number one piece of advice is to search UpX land for below mint properties. Buy that. Yeah. Don't just buy something you find with your BE like I did, and pretty much everybody else did. Yeah. It's a tricky one.
I bought one FSA before I moved onto the second market. I chose New Orleans as my starter city. And had I found either the Facebook or the Discords first, I would have learned that's not where I want to be going. Usually my number one advice would be go to the latest release city or the second last release city, because both LA and Detroit still have FSAs available, whereas like Rio sold out. So, if you can sort of map out when the cities were released, you'll work out which cities are better to go to.
Absolutely. And an important thing to note is everybody's going to make those dunderhead mistakes early on. Like you click on this property, oh, that looks like a good property, and you've just fattened somebody's wallet. Somebody had some crazy price listed, and then you've just made their day. Everybody goes through that. It's just one of those things. Maybe for something specific, I'd like to focus on the collections, which I don't personally myself worry about collections now, but yeah, if I was a new member joining Upland, and we know that if you were lucky enough to get on to the Discord and you found out, okay, there is the Rio re-release coming up, there's a few different options here as far as collections go. Now, the collections I'd be focusing on is the Rio de Janeiro collection, which is the generic own 3 properties in Rio de Janeiro, the Newbie, the King of the Street, and the City Pro. Now, if you're very clever about how you go about this, if you were to buy, or if you were to mint or buy 3 properties on the same street, then you're going to be able to get the King of the Street collection. If you get another 2, and now what's your starting UpX bonus now? I think it's 6,000. So if you join with a referral or made a purchase, you can boost that a little bit. But say you start with 6,000, you could essentially get 6 1,000 UpX properties, which would give you, if you got 3 on the same street, you get the King of the Street collection, you could get the City Pro collection, you'd get the Newbie collection, and you'd also be able to unlock the Rio de Janeiro collection and the bonuses associated with that, with just your 5 properties. So that's one way to go about it. The other way to go about it would be to see some of these standard collections. More often than not, in new city releases, the standard collections for the FSAs sit there unminted for a while. They're a pretty good idea to grab and flip as well. But again, we touched on some of the new restrictions that have been made to the FSA system recently, which kind of doesn't make that as lucrative as it once was.
It also really pays off to go through your properties for the yield and selecting those addresses that have the highest yield so that you're making the maximum off the properties in that area.
Yeah, it's very tough at the start. Like you get your 5 properties and you put them in the collections, and what are you making? You're making 20 UpX a month or something crazy. It's usually pretty pathetic unless you're willing to put some money in. But yeah, any little boost you can do, the better. I don't know. Do people still use FSA agents? Is that still a thing? I haven't. I used to use them all the time. I haven't for a very long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
we've
know that
got
was a thing when
one.
I started.
Mm.
We've got one that's really active in the Vatican House server for the Evergreen node. And he also is a major participant in our Spanish community. So he's our translator, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, whenever we're just trying to snap up FSAs, he's got a whole little network of new players that we can buy them from. So it's good.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're lucky enough to find yourself, you've found YouTube videos or you're in the Discord or whatever, and you're in communication with people. Yeah, that's probably your best bet, is to hook up with an agent and work with them, because you're going to get the most bang for your buck, unless you happen to be lucky and mint something in a city release that turned out to be a collection or something. Cheese?
An option guru just posted the Upland Optimizer upped his monthly by 2,500 just by rearranging his standard collection, and it's done the same for me as well. So that's something you should really check out and be on the lookout for.
Yeah, for sure. And Finsky said mint FSAs from neighborhoods that minted out normal properties, not from areas where there are lots of unminteds left. Yeah, because it's just one of those supply and demand things. Moon Unit has said, starting out intending to put money in, I would have bought larger properties for the yields. That's what I'm changing to now before yields drop more. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for a new player is to learn as much as you can about the game. Get in touch with people who are established. There's so many good communities around now. You'll find a community that suits your kind of interests as well. So yeah, I don't know.
Have you guys had more luck, like in the beginning, flipping tons of small properties, or like flipping early on where you're doing larger properties?
Me personally, when I was a better player, I kind of feel like instead of going up, I'm going down, because when I first started out, I didn't really have an attachment to the properties, and I would flip really fast. Like a good example of that would be Oakland was one of my first city openings, and when that came out, it was a while before any city openings came out, and people were really excited. So I'm gonna admit something. When everybody was going for the diamonds, I was going for all the other stuff.
Oh, back in the day. Nice.
Back in the day. So I was like just flipping. I kept a bunch of really big ones, but I flipped the really small ones, and I flipped them right away. A lot of the time, the FOMO doesn't last long. And if you want to make quick money, you have to do it fast. You have to do it while people are even still minting sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that I got stuck with, I was just buying a ton of like 5,000 to 7,000 UPX mints, and they'd flip a little bit, but I was probably too greedy, asking too much. But now I'm trying to get out of so many small properties and, up my size. I've got like 5 that are 500, UP2 in size, but otherwise I just have a ton of small properties.
Yeah, it's so different nowadays. Like when I started, there was no FSA system or anything like that. So I made all the classic mistakes. I had a couple of hundred properties, but then I realized that there was an opportunity in San Francisco in the financial district. There was still, back then, there was entry-level properties there, like in the 100K range. So I sold hundreds of properties under mint to get into the financial district collection. And I upscaled my financial district collections from 100K. I think I jumped to 250K each. And then I ended up with properties that were all over $1 million each, just by being willing to sell for under mint or flip properties really quick for a very low percentage in Fresno and all of the different cities that came out. But it's kind of that option's. I don't like that option's not available anymore. Like if you sell too many properties under mint, you're going to get flagged and potentially put into Alcatraz. But that's a pretty strong economic tool to be able to sell at a loss for the short term to take on better opportunities for a long term game. But that card has been taken off the board.
And it just wanted to add to that, because they said you can only have 30 FSAs in lifetime.
Yeah.
That sort of removes the need to keep track of people selling under mint, because that was the whole thing, that they kept staying in the FSA zone.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they
I hope
kept
maybe
themselves
they'll
there.
remove that.
And I did that with FSA agents back in the day. They would keep buying FSAs and I'd buy them at the mint price, but then we were stacking an IOU balance. And then once they went to pro, then I'd give them the UPEX on the back end. Or I think there's several UDU members where I did that with collection swaps, the same kind of thing, because it was a kind of grey area. Now they've clarified all that. It's a different ballgame, of course. Now, Cheese, you did put an article out. I didn't forget. Don't worry. We're going to use this to wrap this segment
I
up.
forgot.
You forgot. Oh gosh. So this is probably, there's a lot of stuff in here that would help new players too. Did you want to run through this? What is Upland.me?
What is Upland? So I basically started this before Upland had the great idea for people to start talking about and writing things about Upland. I didn't want to put this in there as a contest, but I wanted to have it as a kind of go-to for basic stuff in Upland. Just kind of know the terms, know what things are, know that, they are expanding, they're going international. And basically, yeah, like the dividend rate, like how to minting process, like the size of the properties matter, like what kind of openings there are, vanilla or standard. Like it's basically, it's not going to tell you too many tactics, but it does have some tactics in there, but it's going to basically get you ready to know what you're doing if you open up and download and open up the game.
Yes.
And thank
absolutely.
you, Ben, so much for helping me, because I know I have a lot of ideas, but in regards to grammar and making things sound great, Ben is the freaking brains and genius on that. And he made my article like sound intelligible.
And then it is, of course, featuring some of your killer beaded pixel artwork too.
Yes.
So you did
Yes.
that.
And-
That was one of the very first ones you did way back in the day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was for a contest. I forgot which contest it was for, but it was for something that people had to vote on. So of course it wasn't a legit contest. Because if you have a lot of friends, which I don't, then you're gonna win. But yeah, that was one of my favorite NFTs that Upland put out of Miles. I think everybody got one because it was a promo of their cards that were coming out. And I liked it because I liked the colors, and I just wanted to create that in my own style. So
Absolutely. So get on over and check that out when you can as well, and give it some claps. Apparently that's a thing for those articles.
yes, someone had to tell me what I think it was Jacqueline. Yeah. I was like, what's claps? And she's like, oh, if you hold it down, it gives 50 claps. And I think that's the most you can get. So thank you for that, Shaq. That was amazing. And thank you everyone who read it. And yeah, write your own, get the word out. This is
get
our
it out there.
investment. We need people to come in.
Absolutely. Now we're running a bit long for time today, so we'll try and blitz through this next bit. We're going to do a little mini spotlight on the Samurai Aquatics Outdoor Decor. Now, most of the people in chat are probably in here. There's a few who aren't. So yeah, we're going to open up the Discord pretty much as soon as this show goes live, there'll be an invite link in the description. So there's a few things here that will be open to you. There's a few things that won't be. You're going to land on the rules. Very simple server rules here. Be nice, don't spam, don't shill. Simple as that. There's some team info here. Like I've been trying to get Cheese and DTech to flesh theirs out a bit more. There's, I mean, if you know us,
I
you know
did
us.
pretty good. I put two
Alright.
links. Whoa.
Oh, DTech, you did put yours in there. Good.
Yeah.
And then through the week, Cheese and I worked together to put this little screenshot together. So that's us in Midtown Terrace with the Samurai Aquatics, the first factory in the background there.
Yay.
Living large. So yeah, when you jump in, you'll have access to these, or basically all of the ones with the emojis on them, except for these lock ones here. So, there's an announcements channel there.
Look how pretty that is. Wow.
Samurai Aquatics logo.
Show them the spinning sauna.
I'm gonna get there. Chill.
He's excited, Ben. Don't
He
tell
is.
him to chill.
Because it's taken 5 hours to render. Like Cheese mentioned before in the show, like all of our, well, not all of them, because there's some of the meetings that we don't push public because we're raging at each other. But yeah, there's a lot of information there. Like if you have any interest at all in doing your own outdoor decor, there's a lot of information there in the journey that we've been through to date. It is a crap ton of work. The showroom, there's not much happening in the showroom now. We will be, I talked to DTech and Cheese about this yesterday or the day before. We will start releasing stuff in the showroom as it gets approved by Upland. Now, this seating with the table, that has been approved. There's 2 other items that have been approved that we'll put in here through the week. And then this is the main one. There's an open chat channel here where you can chat away.
Yeah, and that's that's really good to have that there. Joe, I love you. But can I pre-order items? No. You cannot. You can request special orders, and that's a whole different subject that we can get into later when that comes about. But like, just to let you know, our common stuff, there's going to be plentiful
Yes.
of that, so you don't have to worry about not getting any pieces, because there will be a lot of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, our first stage release, we're expecting that it's going to take several years to sell out.
I don't think several years.
Well, that's what we've put in the background.
Yeah.
Whether that happens or not, we shall see.
All right.
The suggestions channel. Now, this is going to be a part of this week's challenge. We'll get to that in a minute. So the suggestions channel. The next 2 sneak peeks and VIP access. This is kind of going to be stuff we're working on. As the name suggests, it's kind of a tiered system here. This will be your access to these will be entirely engagement based. So if you're somebody who's super active and engaged in the server or the UDU podcast and things like that, then you'll get further access in now. Should I be brave, Cheese and DTech, and click on these? I don't actually know what's going to be here if I click on this.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Let's see what's here. Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, this is what we have set up, at least in concept, for our rarities. So we've got common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, and then we've thrown in a few crazy ones that go way back to my original business pitch. Exotic, extravagant, eccentric baller. So yeah, common 20,000 mints, 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, all the way down to 1 of 1s. So who's in there? Zoe got a bit of a sneak peek at that. I think Moon Unit might be Moon's in there. Oh, look at that one. What could this be about? When 2 amazing artists smash their brains and skills together.
Yeah, DTech and I we're like talking on a daily basis. Yesterday we were working all day on cool stuff.
Yeah, and I was missing out. I was out in the jungle with my class.
I know.
It's also the funnest to see what we start with, and sometimes we end up with something completely not looking.
Yes. But
Like-
D-Tech and I were like, I think this would look better like this. I'll be like, all right, let me change it. Look. And then I'll be like, I think this will look better like this. He goes, all right, let me change it. And then, like hours go by, sometimes days, and then we finally get that piece that we both
Yep.
love equally.
Nice.
And
Absolutely.
that's perfect. That's the way it should be, you know.
All right, I'll click on the VIP and see what comes up here. I don't actually remember what's here. Oh, nice. Just text. Da, 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 da.
Well, there's some images.
Fins in
Higher
there.
up.
Should I be brave and scroll up? Da,
Yep.
da, 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 da. Oh, should we?
Oh
No. All right, we better not go there.
no.
So that's what will be available to you in the open stuff. And then the rest of the server is just the stuff that Cheese and I do for all the business aspects, specs and logistics, structure, yada, yada, yada. Now, D-Tech, did you just drop the jacuzzi GIF in this one?
It's in branding.
In branding. All right. So now this is one of the items that has been approved and D-Tech's been working flat out. Whoa, you're going to get seasick in there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this is one of the pieces in our 10-piece outdoor decor set. So this is the jacuzzi in the wooden theme with the light wood stain and the red trim. So there's a whole bunch of options that this
Oh
could be
yeah.
coming out in. We're planning for futuristic versions, horror versions, sci-fi versions, modern versions, like instead of wooden paneling, it'll be like tile or concrete and this, that, and the other thing. So lots of stuff. I don't know, Cheese, D-Tech, anything else you want to touch on there? Samurai Aquatics?
Yeah, and also we went through a whole bunch of stuff. Like before Upland let us use water,
Yep.
we actually made it see-through, and you can we had the seats there and everything, but all that had to be removed. So it's
Yeah.
like they were much more detailed, and then we had to sort of back and forth for a long time till we got to what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are pushing the limits of what we can get away with. Like we were told no water whatsoever, but then it was okay, you can have water, and then it was you can have water, but it can't be transparent. You can have water, but it can't look like it's flowing. So it's
Can't have fire. Yeah.
can't have fire. Yeah. So it is an ever evolving process. So that's why when people reach out and say, "Can you tell me more information?" Well, pretty much all the information that we can tell you is already out there. So there's not a lot that we haven't shared.
It was fun in the beginning. It was like, there's no water. Well, how about a pool? Well,
Yeah.
there's no water. Well, how about a jacuzzi?
Yeah.
And then they're like, here, use this water texture.
Yes. So we are definitely pushing the limits for what we can get away with. All right, we're going to move on and get this last bit wrapped up. So the weekly challenge from last week was in the MBE server, in the contest channel, or in the YouTube comments. You had to let D-Tech, More Cheese, and myself know what kind of outdoor decor you were most looking forward to seeing and why. And you were going to go on the wheel at winning 10,000 UPEX. Now, there was only 4 people put the effort in for that. I've shared the wrong thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So Kevin Loader, Finsky, Zoe, and Michael 10. You are in the running for 10K. Oh, I'm not sharing screen, am I? There we go. So let's see who's going to win the easiest 10K they've ever made. Oh, it's a borderline. I think Kevin's might have got it.
Woohoo!
Kevin Loader,
Congrats.
congratulations. You
Yeah,
just won.
Kevin.
You just won yourself 10,000 UPEX. Now let me go and see. I wonder if I can quickly see what was Kevin's suggestion. So I'm going to jump over.
I think I know what did Finsky ask for a sauna?
I think he did. Yes. Now let me just share that actually, so people can see. How hard is it to get involved in these weekly challenges that we do? Well, all you have to do is get into the MBE server, and this one here that has the trophy contests, click on that one, and that's it. Kevin here. What are you laughing at?
Roro.
What's
Your
up?
offer was awesome. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Kevin's suggestion was, I'm really looking forward to the expensive custom outdoor decor builds. Personalized one-of-a-kind builds will be huge from the minds of DTech, Morcheese, and Ben. I can't wait to order something like a custom giant rocking chair that can hold 12 people in my front yard to overlook a car race, or just yell at kids to get off my lawn and pull your damn pants up. Well, the good news
That
is,
one.
the good news is we do have something that you can sit on with multiple people. You can put it in your front yard. You can put the swing in the front yard.
I don't know if it'll hold 12.
12 might be a stretch.
Yeah, unless they're like on top of people.
We might get sued. We get Metaverse sued if they fall down and break their backs. So
Penske.
congratulations, Kevin. No, sorry, what were we going to say, DTech?
We should read the other ones. I think Finsky brought up a
Finsky
gazebo.
wanted a wooden octagon gazebo. Now that's a tricky one. I posted an image of a gazebo very early on, and I was told, no, you can't do that because it needs construction. It's not something that would be essentially movable. So, but in some sneaky peeks that I've seen that some other people are working on, it seems like they have submitted gazebos. So who knows? We may be getting conflicting information. So we'll find out at the same time that you do. And what Zoe's suggestion was a fire pit. So that's definitely coming. Children's play area. That's good. Now, we have talked about that a little bit. And in my original business pitch I had for Samurai Aquatics, it was going to be like an aquatic theme park. So you could put a whole aquatic theme park on your land if you had a big space. And what else did you say? Dragon Umbrella. And Michael 10 said he'd love some Adirondack chairs. What the hell is an Adirondack chair?
Oh, they're really fancy, expensive chairs.
Ah. And the other suggestions were a grill, ding ding, a fire pit, ding ding. So
with
that's
no
good.
fire.
People are on the same kind of page, so that's cool.
You know how I know about Adirondack chairs? From Flea Market Flip. Does anybody else watch that?
Oh,
It was so good. Moving on. I'm sorry.
moving on. All
I thought
right.
you were like, because I got him in my backyard.
I don't have a backyard. I have a little patio now, though, which is cool. I could probably fit one there, but I wouldn't spend money on that.
Nice. All right. For this week's challenge, get yourself into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server and tag Morcheese, DTech, and myself in the suggestions channel, which is the one we're showing now, and post a brain fart.
Ooh.
Post one of your brain farts. Now it could be something following on from, what do you want to see or anything. Make of that what you will. Post a brain fart. Now I use a special 2 emojis to make a brain
Yes.
fart. I'll post that afterwards. What, are you already in there? There you go, DTech. Look. Yes. DTech's already got his entry in. Well done.
He does. Let me see. What did you put?
He literally posted a brain fart.
Oh.
Get yourself in and check that out. Now, if you do that, you will go on the wheel for next week's show at a chance of winning 25,000 UPEX. So you saw how little effort that Kevin Loader was able to put in to win the 10K. Well, next week's going to be 25,000 UPEX.
Ooh,
for getting in there.
25. Can I get in there?
Yeah, of course you can.
No, I can't.
You can get in there. It doesn't mean I'm going to give it to you if you win.
Okay.
All right, let's get this puppy wrapped up. We need to run the wheels.
I have them ready.
Cheese, can you dictate who we still got on? Because we won't roll it with people who aren't on.
All right.
I need to jump on over here. Yep.
We have. Shoot, that took away my participant page. All right, here we go. We have author, Zoe.
Who? Who's the first one? Arthur.
Arthur.
Arthur. All right, I haven't got Arthur in. Sure. Yep. Arthur, thank you.
Zoe,
Check.
awesome.
Check.
Finsky,
Check.
option.
Check.
Roro,
Roro's back. Okay.
Roro's back.
Roro.
Back again.
Roro. Yep. Check.
And Shaq.
Shaq. Ron. Is Ron still in?
He had to leave.
Okay. So I'll bounce Ron out. All right.
And
Let's see.
who's Tech?
D-Tech. That's D-Tech.
D-Tech and Arth are the same people.
Ah,
It's okay.
you double
It's okay.
dip.
I'm.
was like, who's Arthur?
But who's Tech?
Damn it.
I
I'm
like how
sorry,
he's quiet.
D-Tech. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I had double chances.
I'm
Double
sorry.
All right. Let's see who's going to play.
Come on.
Oh, look at that. Poetic justice.
Wow. Good job.
D-Tech gets to roll the wheels. All right, Cheese. Ready for you.
Ready for moi. All right, hold on. Let me just put it in the right.
You look nervous, D-Tech. You should be pumped up.
He should be nervous.
There I go.
Where the hell is the window?
$1 million.
I got
Dollars.
it. I got it. Dollars.
I can't bankroll that.
All right.
You know the deal, D-Tech. Tell Cheese when to spin that wheel.
Oh, okay.
my-
Spin that wheel. I won during Ben's other big
Wait,
event.
say when.
Oh, when?
You don't time it.
What time? What?
He said it 3 times now.
How am I gonna time it? It's lagging. Like all I see is like.
Oh,
Oh, 5,000. That's
Yes.
pretty good for the first wheel.
that is.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to bank that Upex, or are you willing to
Keep
spin
going.
again?
Spin
Keep
again.
going. Oh, he was
Spin
quick.
again.
He was quick.
I got this stupid thing in the middle here, so I have to.
I mean,
Yeah,
it can
no,
only
it's
get larger, right? So,
frustrating.
yeah, I'll spin.
No, it
All right.
can't only get larger. It can definitely go down.
Yeah.
The chances are it will go down. So 50,000 Upex available on the second wheel. When you're ready,
I
DJ.
don't believe in chances. Spin.
I don't believe in chicks.
Then you're going to have to curse your gods because you've gone from 5,000 Upex down to 500 Upex. So what do you want to do? You're going to bank that 500 or
Spin again.
Spin again. All right, he's going for the 1 mil. He's going for the 1 mil.
And spin.
Here we
Oh,
go.
Come on, D-Tech,
That's
you
where the
got
1 million
this.
is, right? Here it
Let's
goes.
see. You never know. It's going to go off one of these
Oh,
days.
I'm gonna go on Ben. Get Ben.
It could be you.
Well, I mean, at least it's
Well,
not
you
500
recovered a little bit.
anymore.
1,000.
What happens when I hit Ben?
You get a shitty NFT. Yeah.
So close.
Jesus, Ben.
You get a shitty Ben 68 NFT. And yes, Roro, you did miss your chance last week if you saw that. Apologies for that.
Oh,
Yes.
poor
Oh, we didn't even ask D-Tech. What was the phrase?
Oh yeah, you
What was the phrase, D-Tech?
look at go to MVE contest. Go to MVE contest. Roro put it.
I know the phrase.
What is
Oh,
it?
Don't
What is
want to say it because other people might.
He's buying himself some time.
Oh, I see. I screwed myself then. I could have smacked him. All right, you got away with that one. Sometimes I forget, so lucky you.
I would have told him though.
Outdoor decor.
Soon.
Burp, burp. Roll again. We're gonna pick somebody else.
Yeah, you don't get that.
Okay.
So you got away with that one. So that's a lucky one there.
Ah.
All right. A reminder that to go in the running for the 1 million Upex wheels, just like D-Tech did, you should be in the Zoom at the start of the show for the snapshot. You sometimes need to be paying attention in the middle of the show to catch the code word or phrase, and you need to be here at the end when the wheels start rolling. That's the most important part. If you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, opportunities are available for sponsorship and engagement in the UDU podcast. contact myself or More Cheese to discuss and secure your spot. All proceeds go towards giveaways and prizes on the podcast. Like and subscribe, rate and review, spruik and spam, do all that cool stuff. Cheese, get us the hell out of here.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Bye.
Growing, waiting.